I want you to make a practice swing with a chip back swing and a full finish. And it's going to feel really strange if you've never done it before. Chip back, full finish. Yeah, and I want you to make a little bigger backswing on the next practice swing. And the other thing I'd like you to do, Eric, is keep your right arm, your upper arm, against your body more. And just relax those arms as you do it. Feels weird, doesn't it?
It feels very short, yeah.
You know, and the brain's trying to process this going, what is this move? Now, the cool part about this is because you've never done it before, there's no fight with your old habit, which is way up here, right? So then we've got the tee in the ground, we've got the ball on the tee, so we've got that little bit of air. Now focus on chip full, and let's see what happens.
Let's do it.
Now remember, the cameras are rolling,
Yep.
right? Folks, this camera's rolling face on, he's gonna see it. That's pretty sporty right there.
Thank you, sir.
That is really cool.
I want to talk to you today about Live View Golf. Now, you guys hear me say all the time that you need feedback when you're practicing. You need to know if you're actually doing what you're trying to do, and the best way to give yourself feedback ultimately is video. And not only is video the best way to give yourself feedback, but being able to see yourself simultaneously as you're doing a movement is the best form of video feedback. It's the best way I've seen to make changes in your swing and be able to correlate the differences between your feels and your reels. Live View is super easy to use and set up. Simply set it up behind or in front of you. You connect it with your iPad or phone, pop that on the ground. You can actually do your practice, see yourself as you're doing it, the best way to expedite your process. I encourage you guys to check out Live View Golf. We'll put a link in the description down below with a coupon code. All right, guys, so we're outside here with Mr. Lou again, as you guys have seen. And we're going to talk about in today's video a topic that I've been dying to talk about for a while. And I saw a couple of videos that Lou had done, which shows you a way to fix your overswing that, quite frankly, I've never seen or heard before. And I think it's a really awesome way that you can do it really, really quickly.
That's right.
And Lou and I have talked, and we said, hey, there's people that come in all the time, and they say, Lou, I have this overswing that I can't fix for years sometimes, trying to fix it. And we're like, well, that's a joke, right? We can fix that in a couple swings.
Yep.
And so I would love to talk today about how someone could start that process and go through the process. They got this big old long backswing. They want to fix it. Let's help them fix it.
I think we should turn the cameras off. It's too good. I think it's too good of a secret. We're not going to tell you.
Yeah.
So it's great, because remember this. Everybody that comes in to see Eric and I, they already know how to chip. It's already programmed in. So they come in, student will say, oh, I've been working for months or years. I always overswing. And I'm like, well, we're going to fix that in literally a minute or two, because they know how to chip. So instead of trying to work on the swing from the top and bring it down, we're actually going to go the other way and then work it up. Something they've never heard before and have never seen before on the video, the power of that video. So Eric, what I'd like you to do is right off the bat, hit a chip. Just hit a little chip 10, 20 yards out there. Something that we all know how to do already.
Little chip shot, little short iron.
Yep. And notice we have the ball on the tee. So folks, I want you to have the golf ball on the tee in the beginning when you're doing this exercise, so that you can concentrate more on what you're doing with the swing and not worry about the ground. So we're going to give ourselves some air. One more chip.
And Lou, this is just like 9-iron pitching wedge.
Yep.
Little short iron.
So now Eric already knows how to do that. So now this is the fun part for me, because I'll turn the video on and record from our face on camera a lot of really cool things here. So now what I want you to do in the next one, because we've got to play this little trick on our mind, I want you to make a practice swing with a chip back swing and a full finish. And it's going to feel really strange if you've never done it before. Chip back, full finish. Yep, and I want you to make a little bigger backswing on the next practice swing. And the other thing I'd like you to do, Eric, is keep your right arm, your upper arm, against your body more. And just relax those arms as you do it. Feels weird, doesn't it?
It feels very short, yeah.
You know, and the brain's trying to process this going, what is this move? Now, the cool part about this is because you've never done it before, there's no fight with your old habit, which is way up here, right? So then we've got the tee In the ground, we've got the ball on the tee, so we've got that little bit of air. Now focus on chip full, and let's see what happens.
Let's do it.
Now remember, the cameras are rolling,
Yep.
right? Folks, this camera's rolling face on. He's going to see it. That's pretty sporty right there.
Thank you, sir.
That is really cool, right? So
when I'm
what did
doing
you
that,
feel? Well,
so
by
that-
the way, your swing, it needs to go up.
Yes,
It's too
I gotta
short.
lengthen it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think, so when I'm doing that same swing to the full swing, I'm trying to feel that little tiny chip backswing
Yeah.
and get into the full. And I think that's gonna feel like short, rush compared to someone.
Yep.
And I think what's gonna be so cool is when someone tries this and they record from face on,
Yeah.
that length backswing is probably gonna be 2 feet, 3 feet longer than they think, would you
Yep.
say?
Yeah.
To begin with?
Yeah, it's going to feel probably about maybe 40% of what they could do, and it's about 80% of what they need to do. Yeah, exactly. Try another one.
Yeah, let's do it again. I love
Pretty
it.
cool.
I think when I saw you first talk about this, Lou, it's one of those things you instantly like, oh my gosh, if someone would do this
Yeah.
that has an overswing and record it, like you said, which is
Yep.
important, the cameras are rolling, and actually see how far the swing goes, they're going to be shocked.
Yep. Yeah,
So I
and
got
then
my-
of course they've got to marry the two together, what
Right.
they feel and what they actually really see.
So my chip backswing into a full follow through.
How'd that feel?
Yeah, it feels great.
Do you feel like as you're doing this that you need to engage your lower body more,
Oh yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
you feel trapped.
Yes.
You know, most people feel trapped. Now, the beauty of, you know, as we know with the swim noodles, we can block somebody out if they're struggling with it so they don't make a big backswing
Yeah.
and get them to train. One of the things that happens here, because you're making the short backswing, it does speed up your swing. So
Yeah.
then we take caution to the tempo. We learn how to relax and be patient, because in every swing we've got to have that transition and it's got to be smooth.
And to your point with the lower body, Lou, I feel like when I'm doing this style, it feels more athletic. I feel like for me, for it being as short as it is, to create the motion, like it feels like I'm gonna get a lot of really good stuff for free from there into my follow through.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't feel if I had this big long backswing length.
And when you feel that, elbows are tight. You know,
Yep.
Ben Hogan said he had an exercise where he wanted your upper arms nice and close to your body, elbows against the side.
Yep.
If you're doing this, Eric, and you start relaxing your arms as you feel this move, you're going to get some lag. Not lag that we try to create, it's
Yeah.
automatically there.
Yeah, I'm not going down trying to,
Yeah.
okay,
and,
gotcha.
and then, of course, when you watch this camera over here and you're looking at that face-on view, right? And all of a sudden you're here and you make the shift,
yeah.
and you see that position, you see the tour player move,
It's like, I've never seen that before.
you work off that. Some people haven't.
Let's try one more.
Yeah, and
So
there's
chip
no
backswing.
reason. Yeah, no reason we can't do this immediately.
Yeah, that feels awesome.
Isn't that cool?
And so let's say I do a couple of those, and now maybe someone does a couple and they don't hit it perfect right away, right? They might need a couple to get used to that
Yeah.
short backswing, which is fine.
Yeah, and we coach them,
Yeah, we coach them through it.
encourage them.
And now
Jump
after
in
they,
and demonstrate as well, right? You know,
Right.
so that they can see it.
and after you do a couple, you know, they would look at the camera and say, okay, I see that that's shorter now, which proves the point. Like if they just did that and they look at it on camera, and let's say they go a little longer, you know, whatever, that might actually be a full length swing.
Correct.
But a lot of times, like you mentioned, that's probably 80% of what they actually need.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the next kind of fun part, which is after I do that little chip style backswing a couple times, I might be looking at the camera and for the first time in my life here, hey, you need to swing a little longer.
That's right.
On the way back.
I mean, can you imagine our students come in and I've been working on this forever, I just can't make my swing shorter. And in 5 minutes, we're saying to them, you know what, you actually have to make your swing bigger. It's got to go up.
Yeah.
They've never heard that before. Talk about having a student for life, right?
Yeah, exactly. and I think as people do this, Lou, and I'm sure you've done this a million times, they start getting the shorter backswing, they start to compress the ball, they start to learn how to hit it solid, they lengthen a little bit of motion. So let's say I'm going here and I say, okay, here's my chip shot. You know, maybe the club head traveled back, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet, through 3 or 4 feet, just a 20, 30 yarder.
Yep.
I take that backswing, full follow through. Now, as I lengthen it, I'm just gonna start to feel like it's a little bit of a longer chip shot swing, basically. Is that kind of how I would start it?
Yeah, I would say take in what you feel, record this so you can see it, watch, pay attention to the video, pay attention to what you see, and also then pay attention to the ball flight
Yeah.
and then how far the ball goes. Because now we're talking about wedge work,
Yeah.
because we can make all these different size backswings. We're talking about ball flight, knockdown shots. So while you're training this in, this isn't even a drill. This is a part of playing golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was one of the really cool things that I saw you did too with, and I think you maybe had a 7-iron in, you were hitting shots with this in, with the shorter backswing into the follow through and actually hitting these nice knockdown shots,
Yep.
which turned into shots you could hit. You know, if you hit your 7-iron 150 yards, you got this chip style backswing that maybe goes 110, and then you have one that goes 120, 30, 50 all the way up.
If you have a reduction in your backswing,
Yeah.
you have a reduction in swing speed, the ball's going to go lower.
Yeah.
Then you can play around with your ball position. You can have it forward, middle, or back. It's still going to go lower because you don't have your full speed swing in there.
Yes.
And then from there, if you can accelerate the club and feel that full finish all the time, maybe have a one-dimensional knockdown shot, you're going to get your yardages, you're going to be consistent, you're going to have the windy conditions, and you're going to control your golf ball.
I love that. Let's have a 7-iron here, Lou. And I'm working on my backswing length.
Yep.
I've changed that. I'm able to do that. I verify with the video. And maybe someone does a couple and they're swinging too far back. They can go back and do a couple reps with the chip shot, regain that short distance feel,
Yeah.
and then turn it back into a full follow through. Let's say I do it with a 9-iron and I've accomplished that. I say, okay, they weren't lying. I got my short backswing in a couple minutes. And now I want to try this with a 7-iron and kind of work through the process of, okay, let's say someone hits their 7-iron 150. I'm going to do that chip style backswing into a full follow through, and that should give me that nice piercing lower trajectory ball flight without me having to do a million things.
It will, and as coaches, one of the things we have to do, so you're out there on the range, you're hitting that piercing 7-iron. For me, it'll go about 110 to 120 yards low. My 7-iron will go 160 to 165 standard swing. Now you have to be prepared. So it's like, oh, this is great, 110 low knockdown shot. Now you're playing in a 35-mile-an-hour wind. What do you want to do? You want to make a bigger swing. You want to hit it harder. You have to trust the ball flight, number one. Then you have to do the math. So now if I'm 110 with the 7-iron and I've got that wind, I've got to factor that in. And I go, okay, if I make the same swing, it's going to go through the wind, but it's not going to go 110, folks. It's going to go a lot shorter. We don't know exactly what that is. You're going to have to find out. And remember this, when that ball's going in low and that wind's pushing against it, it's going to land like a wedge.
Love it.
Magic.
So I love that, Lou. Guys, I think that that's super easy, A, to understand, and B, to actually implement and do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you follow the chip shot style, record yourself from face on, give yourself the feedback, you should be able to fix your overswing. This isn't one of those titles we come up with. This is a legitimate, you could fix it immediately, right, within a couple of swings. So Lou, thank you very much. This was awesome. If you guys have any questions or thoughts, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you liked the video, do us a favor. Click that like button down below. Click the subscribe if you haven't, and leave a comment. The more activity we get, the more YouTube likes that, sends our video out so we can help more people and keep making these videos for you. If you like this style video, we're going to put a YouTube video very similar to this, a card on the screen. We'll also put a card for Cogorno Golf. If you'd like to work with me, I would love to work with you. Go ahead and click that. We'd love to see you there.